All right. Okay, so it looks like we are live. Sorry, guys. Apparently, I scheduled the live stream a little bit later, actually a few hours later, and I just corrected it. So that's what I was just doing. But it looks like we are live. I'm just making sure that everything is good to go. Perfect. Yeah, I think we are good. So again, hello everyone. Welcome to the weekly trade review live stream. My name is Alex Winkler, for those of you who don't know, and I have been trading for about 6 years now. I started the first 3 years. I was day trading, swing trading a lot, and when I lived in New York City. And after that, I moved to Florida and started doing a lot of traveling. And so that was kind of the next 3 years of my trading. And then also for the last 2 years, I applied a lot of my equities trading strategies to the crypto market and was able to grow our crypto fund very consistently. So I'm going to be sharing everything that I do to grow this fund with you guys. And every week on Monday, I review everything that I do, especially my last few trades or the trades of the last week. And I also talk about any maybe relevant topics or anything else that I want to share with you guys. You know, something that might have came up in the chat room or just something that I find really relevant. So we kind of hit all fronts, and yeah, let's actually go ahead and get started. The way I like to get started is just moving over to my what's it called? My other screen, which has all the charts on it. So let's go ahead and move over there. Actually, right off the bat, this is the weekly trade review post that I make as well. So if you ever want to check this out, it's in the video description below. I think there right now there's a different video description if you're watching this live, because I have to update that right after this video. So, but you can always go to crypto.enzo.com and you'll see all the latest activities that I have been doing. If it's posting a trade, making a watch list, or even these weekly trade reviews. You can see this last week was a little shaky. This is actually my first negative week of the year. We're not really down that much, only $55, but still, you know, the first red tick, I guess you can say, on the weekly chart. But you know, that's fine with trading. It's not about being right all the time. Actually, you're going to be wrong a lot. And I'm only right around 60% of the time, maybe closer to 63 if you mix my swing trading into my day trading. Both day trading around 60% of the time, and some of the best traders I know are only right around 70% of the time. I'm working to get to that 70% limit, you know, win-loss ratio. But I still have a bit of a way to go. A lot of the mistakes I've made is just moving over to the crypto market, and the way the crypto market trades, to me, coming from equities, is actually a lot slower. Everyone says crypto moves a lot faster, and I would say that's true, but only on a daily and kind of like weekly time frame. But if you're day trading crypto, I find it relatively slow. There's a lot of consolidation, a lot of periods where not a lot happens, and I think that's due simply because there is no opening bell, there's no closing bell. It's 24/7, so you don't really know when the big moves are going to happen, and sometimes they just happen very slowly. The percentage-wise, they will move a lot over time, but day trading stuff like that, what I was used to, it's relatively slower. So that's actually where I found I make a lot of mistakes. I get a little too aggressive. Or, you know, I'm waiting for a move to happen, and the move happens, but it just happens over the course of 3 hours instead of, you know, 5 minutes. And, you know, sometimes I'll just get out of a trade or something like that, and or sell too early, or, you know, selling a fake out or something like that. So a lot to learn still, even though I've been doing crypto for like 2 years now. But just coming from equities, it's just a different beast on its own. But we're going to review some of those trades. We're actually going to review all the trades I made last week. Usually I only pick a few, but I want to review all of them. There's really not that many anyway. There's, I think, what, 4 or something like that. So we're going to review all those. We're going to talk about taking profits quickly, especially when you're in a short-term bear market, which we are right now. We actually kind of switched over to a bull market, I would say, on the daily. We're above the 180-day moving average, which is a very bullish indicator. However, especially on the 1 hour, we're very much in a short-term bear trend. And when you're in one of those you want to take your profits a little quicker because the bounces, especially off the support line, sometimes are a lot weaker, and that's a big reason I made some mistakes. Typically, when I'm day trading, I look for around 3% profits, and just because of that, I missed a lot of the opportunities. I could have easily made a couple $100 this week with the same trades that I made this week, simply because I didn't take my profits. Many times I was up, $100, $150, $200 on these relatively small positions, and I just didn't close out the position because I was waiting just for a little bit more, right? Not really necessarily getting greedy, I would say. I just had it in my normal price range. That I would look for when we're a bit more bullish. And when we're in a short-term bull market, then I'll be able to get those 3% a lot easier, especially on a regular bounce. So I want to talk about that a lot in the upcoming trades, which are down here. All right, let's start off by reviewing the trade journal, and that is where I document all of my trades, just on the quick overview. So first we'll check out this chart, and then we'll dive into first we'll check out the documentation, then we'll look into the chart. And I heard that you guys have a hard time seeing this on mobile sometimes, so I'm going to go over to my exact trade journal where you can see everything a bit zoomed in. So let's check that out right now. This is my trade journal weekly overview. And guys, if you have any questions about the trade journal, there is a whole YouTube tutorial series on these. All you have to do to find that is go to tradejournal.co, and then at the top right of the website, you're going to see, I think it says tutorial videos or how-to videos or something like that. And you can learn how to use Trade Journal on your own, copy the Google Sheets on your own, and then, use it to benefit your own trading by reviewing all your trades before, during, and after. So let's do that with mine right now. And on a side note, let's just all right, cool. Also, yeah, on a side note, I'm trying to make this a little quicker than last week's weekly trade review. I keep going over 30 minutes. I hit around that 40-minute mark. So if I can make it at 30 minutes, I'd be a little more happy, especially for you guys, because I don't want to take up too much of your time. So I'm going to try to be as quick as possible, but I don't want to leave out any good information. And you could always watch this on playback at 1.5 speed or something like that, if that helps, because that's how I watch all my videos. So started off the week relatively slow, didn't really make any trade till Tuesday, and then Tuesday had a small little scratch, $33 profit, basically nothing. This was one of the trades that could have been easily $100+ profit, but I just didn't take the profits in time. Then I had a nice $100 profit and then $122 loss. So just a complete, basically by Wednesday it's like I didn't do anything. And then Thursday, again, a small loss. And then Friday, actually, I just closed out this trade. This was a bigger loss. It was like a $250 loss, which is about as much of a loss as I ever want to take. I like to force close out any position that is getting close to 3%, and that's what I did, which was a good thing, but that is going to go for the next week. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. All I do to basically start this for next week is I just go over here and I copy and paste the old row. I changed the date, right? This is a new date. And then I am going to, or a new week, scroll that, copy all those dates down, delete this, and then delete this. Actually, I could even copy this, and I think I closed this trade out. Today's Monday. I think I closed it out yesterday, so this will go here. LTC day trade closed. And let me put a 0.5 to represent that close right over here. And then I'm gonna get that amount and enter it here, but I'll do that later on my own time. What I did want to show you guys already ahead of time is, or not ahead of time, but now is that, yeah, this week was a negative $55 week, but overall my weeks are relatively positive, and you can see that my weekly average in general is going up. This week was not so much up, but on average with my $10,000 account size, give or take, we're making a steady 3-4% per week right now in a longer term bear market. So not too bad, pretty happy. I can't wait to start opening some swing positions, because that is those are always really, really fun trades, especially to review every day while the swing is open. But right now we've been almost doing only day trading. I think I only have 6 swing trades this whole year, so relatively low amount, and I can't wait to get into that. But yeah, overall pretty steady week or steady year. And you know, there's nothing wrong with a small loss from time to time. Actually, you know, if you do 100 trades, for me right now, around 40 of those trades are going to be losses. And all you have to do as a trader is realize that not every one of your trades is right. And all you have to do when you have a trade not going your way is get out. And that is how you become consistently profitable. It's really just comes down to not having any big losses and just taking on average bigger wins over time. And then, yeah, down the road, you're going to be able to grow your account size that way. So let's dive into these exact trades right now. Let me quickly see if that, oh, actually, before we dive into the exact trades, let me show you guys the chart. And if you just click over here on chart, this is auto-generated based on the information I put on. Because I made the new week, there's kind of a bit of a flat line here, so kind of ignore that. We are looking up to the 28th, which, you know, is right around here. So yeah, this was basically last week, this little bump right here, had a little bit of win and then right back down. So overall, our chart keeps growing very nicely, but yesterday we had that, or last week, we just kind of took a little bit of profits off our overall account, unfortunately. Okay, now let's get into the good stuff. So the first thing I want to review with you guys is, where is it? So the top trades and biggest lessons, which is, well, I guess there really was no top trade. Maybe you could say this was a top trade, but overall, everything I would say is more or less a lesson. And here's 3 points that I'm going to highlight later on. But before we dive into those points, let's just dive into each trade individually. So the first trade, I think it was on Tuesday, if I remember correctly, on the 22nd. This was a support line bounce on a longer term. And what we had here, oh, it's God, just to think, a week ago, the Litecoin was at 77. Right now, it's like at 67 or 68 or 69, something like that. So it's crazy how fast the price moves. But on a, you know, on a longer term, what am I saying here? So support line bounce, we had, is there a longer term picture? Not really. So let me dive into that. 1 hour, actually, it'll have to be more like 30 minutes. And at the end of the video, like always, I'm going to be reviewing the chart. I'm going to be reviewing Bitcoin and several other currencies, and kind of just go over what we have planned for next week and potential setups for next week as well. Let me take a quick sip of water. All right, guys, we are at 12 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's keep moving along. What was I doing? Okay, so I said I was looking for a support line bounce, and since I didn't post a bigger picture on this one, I quickly went over here so we can zoom out and see more or less what I was talking about. And in this picture, we're going to, sorry guys, I'm switching pages a lot. Here we have the channel, more or less an ascending channel, which typically break to the downside. Where's that channel? I think it's this one right here. So let me just make sure. Let me just sure it's the correct one. Okay, yeah, so we had this $76 support line, right? We had a huge zoom up here. Then we came down, retested it, bunch of retests, bunch of support, and then eventually we cracked it, but we moved our way right back up, which is more or less a somewhat bullish indicator. However, we did have this ascending channel, and that is oftentimes a bearish indicator. So, and it's kind of funny, this ascending channel made it right up to this 180 moving average. So not kind of funny how it died off right around there. A big indicator. It also died off right around this resistance line. But anyway, what this trade was more or less a support line bounce inside the ascending channel. So we had the ascending channel here. We had the support line right here. We came back down and we bounced off of it. And I typically don't like buying on a support line because you don't always know if they're going to hold. So what I do is I buy on a bounce. I kind of chased this one a little bit. I didn't get an entry right around here, which I usually look for a little bit earlier. Would have been nice. But anyway, I got an entry, and then what I was hoping for is to kind of go a little over this line. Again, I had my limit order a bit closer to this 79 range. Didn't get that. Had to live through all of this, which was kind of a nightmare because as you can see the time zone, this was an overnight trade, which I try to avoid as day trading. And yeah, eventually I just kind of got out of it here for a small loss. If I held a little bit longer, I could have had, $200 profit if I sold up in here. But after this little bounce, I'm just happy I didn't, get out here, and I was able to hold. So overall, just a stressful trade, very choppy. This is really just not what you want. Would have been best to avoid this trade, if anything, altogether, or maybe just trade, on this second confirmation, get out here, something a little cleaner. But overall, this was just a nightmare trade, and yeah, something I would typically avoid. Yeah, so if it's getting choppy like this, yeah, we did have a nice ascending channel, but overall, I chased the price a little bit, and it's just really not something ideal. Yeah, so not too proud of that trade at all. This one, double bottom, this was also Litecoin. I think I only traded Litecoin this week, which is typically something I do like to trade. So this is the same ascending channel. This was the first trade we just talked about, and then I entered this trade. And the reason I entered this trade is because we kind of had a breakout from this this kind of imaginary, I would say, resistance line right here. We broke out of that, we had a bounce, and then we came back and touched it again. It was a great entry, really, really nice, except I was looking again for a little bit bigger of a breakout past this resistance line, and we didn't get that. I think I had my exit order right around here, and again, I just simply kind of got out early, which is fine. I mean, this trade was not too bad. Great entry, okay exit. Your trades don't have to be perfect. Watch the last weekly trade review. I made a bunch of sloppy trades, but I still ended with 600 of the week. So, you don't have to make good trades to become consistently profitable. But overall, this week was just so messy for me, and I'm really not proud about it. But yeah, it was a double bottom, and overall I just simply got out when, I didn't really have that big breakout, which I was happy about. If I made all my trades like this, I would have ended the week, $400 profit. It would have been a great week, being sloppy. So that would have been pretty cool, but it didn't happen. So yeah, there it is. So next trade was kind of relevant to the one before it. And what we had here, this trade could have been really, really bad. I had an exit that was definitely just in time, I would say, but overall, I don't know why I held this trade so long and took so much unnecessary risk. So let's review this trade quickly. Here was the double bottom trade, and here you can see that actually it would have executed where I wanted it to. This is where my limit order was to exit. If I just held a bit longer, it would have been good, but I was a little bummed out with the trade before, and overall, just so much chop in the market. So here the price eventually comes back down. So we had a first bounce, a second bounce, third bounce, and I had a limit order here ready to go, and I got the third bounce. However, we just did not get that upside, and we are holding our support line so nicely, and that is why I didn't get out anywhere here. I was fairly confident that this was maybe a first stair forming, and then we would have a longer breakout to the upside at any moment. But then we had this. I should have got out in all of this. I don't know what was going on. I was being biased or something. But then I realized, we were constantly making these lower lows. This general resistance moving average came in, and on top of that we broke out from the channel, so everything was looking really bad. We had no volume, and I knew the second we got some volume, we can move to the downside quickly. So I eventually just got out of the trade. And this was probably one of my bigger losses of the week, $122 loss, but still not really that big of a loss. Small percentage loss, right? Under 1% loss. This could have easily been like a 10% loss if I held it any longer. So you just want to get out of these trades when it no longer goes your way. This is a bit longer term view. I zoomed out a bit than the picture before, and let me quickly go back so you can see what I'm talking about. Here is the picture before, or the one we were just on. You can see a lot of downside movement, but then here you can see really, really, really big downside movement. So imagine I held, right? Imagine I was very biased and just held, and right now the price is down to like 68. So 66.47 actually. So that's just why you want to get out quickly. Yeah, cool. So let's go to the next trade. A little drink of water, a little Wasserpause. So, man, I remember this trade like it just happened. I'm just looking at it makes me a little bit disappointed in myself. Anyway, let's dive into it. So this was coming from a cup and handle pattern. I was really excited when I saw it, but the cup and handle basically broke out, and then I entered the trade. I honestly have no idea why. this was a breakout bounce long, and it broke out from the cup and handle. And right now it's kind of weird. I can't really identify the cup and handle that I was just talking about. It's probably because the time frame we are on is just very, very different. So let me move over. Where would this time frame be? I'm going to go on the 5 minute. Let's see if I can find it. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I probably should have looked into this a little bit beforehand. Let me just scroll on over here. This is at 74. Is that right? 74? Yeah, 74.27. So yeah, that's going to be right in here. Oh, looks like I copied one of these. Let me just get rid of it. I'm trying to remember where I saw the cup and handle. Right now, it's disappearing from me. If I come up with it later, I'll be sure to post a picture and in the Discord trading chat room for you guys. Or you know what, I'll just actually post the picture inside of this trade review right down here with some arrows to show you guys what I was looking at. Anyway, we broke out from this cup and handle that I was looking at, which I am completely just blind to right now. And then we kind of held our highs, and we broke. Oof, God, these charts are just all over the place right now. My internet is really slow, and when it's slow, those charts don't load properly. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it right here, not move it much more. Anyway, we broke out of a general. Sorry guys, I need to figure out which chart I want to talk about. I'll just use this one. This is the cleanest. Okay, so we had a bit of, chop right here, and then we eventually broke out, and I was looking again, like before, I was like, oh, potential first stare. We were breaking out from this level, which I was a little bit, well, I wouldn't say we broke out, we had a little fake out, and I was thinking that we were gonna have, since we constantly got rejected at 74.50 level, and then we finally broke above it, I was looking that we were gonna maybe have a quick little bounce and continue to the run to the upside. That is why this trade was a breakout bounce. At least that's what I documented it as. In the end, it was a horrible trade or entry because it wasn't a breakout bounce. But you don't really know that. But then we held our highs, and this was pretty nice too, because it could have been a potential first stare, and I see these all the time, especially when we're in a very bullish momentum. We're not in a bullish momentum. I should have really thought about that beforehand, but yeah, last week was like my just chop everywhere. I don't know, I was getting overly aggressive. I was entering trades when I should have been, and then eventually, since I was looking for a breakout bounce, and even though we were holding our highs nicely, I eventually just got out of the trade. And the reason I just got out of the trade is because anytime a trade is no longer going the way I wanted it to go, so let's say, so this is the perfect example. So what I wanted was a breakout from this 74.50 level, right? And then a bounce, which is when I entered on the breakout bounce, and then I was looking for a continuous run to the upside. We didn't get that. I was hoping maybe a bounce here or maybe a bounce here. We didn't get that again. So after that time, after this rejection and fake out, I was basically just hoping, right? I was hoping for a second bounce. I was hoping that maybe this trade will work. And that is when I realized, uh-oh, I'm hoping, let me get out of this trade. And I just got out of this trade, took my $55 loss, not a big deal. I didn't have to take a loss anywhere here, which could have been, $300, $400, $500 loss. I just lived to trade another day. This was a mistake on my end, and I just shouldn't have made it. And I just need to start looking for cleaner patterns. I mean, here's a nice trend line. This could have been a nice trend line bounce or something like that. But I don't know. I got over aggressive at the wrong times, and then I missed the good setups. And that just happened all last week. And I don't want to make that mistake again, even though this week I'm going to be starting off with a bigger loss. So I got to make up for the $257 loss. But you never want to trade thinking I need to make up for a loss. But that's just something you're going to have to think about, or something you don't want to think about that's there. So it's hard not to think about it, right? I have to make up for a trade or something like that. It's just not how you want to enter a future trade, but something I just wanted to point out. So I think that's basically it for the weekly trade reviews. Again, guys, I highly recommend checking these out on your own time. And I also recommend checking them out as they come out. And as I post them in the Discord trading chat room, because I post all of my trades there. So you guys can kind of review them as they are happening live. And the more you ask me questions about the trade, sometimes I realize that it's a bad trade. And I'm like, whoa, guys, I'm going to get out of this trade. And it's good to be transparent and just, constantly review it with everyone, because, I make a lot of mistakes, and yeah, I'm just a student myself. But overall, this week really should have been a easy profit week, or I just should have not traded at all. I mean, it was a little choppy, so maybe I should have just completely stepped away and took a week off. That would have been great, instead of trying to force a trade. And that's really what this week was all about. I was just trying to force trades. What I could have done as well is just took profits a little quicker. I could have realized that right now, especially in the 1 hour, the 15-minute, and the 5-minute, we're in a general bearish trend. So knowing that we're in a bearish trend, bounces and bullish activity are just going to be a little weaker. So I should have took my profit a little quicker near the 1.5% level instead of the 3% level, which is usually what I'm looking for. So just little things like that really could have made a huge difference overall. And my third point really was just, again, don't rush trades. Why not just take the whole week off if you're not seeing a good trade set up? And that's again probably what I should have done last week. So let's quickly dive into the charts, review a little bit about what's coming up in the next week. And yeah, I think then we'll be finishing up. All right. Where do we do that? So we do that right here. And the first thing I want to talk about, which I talked about in my, let's go to the 1 day. And actually, here is my watch list. I know you guys always have some questions about my watch list. What does it look like? What do you talk about? Well, let me just dive into my watch list right now to show you guys. And basically, I talk a little bit about the last trade. And this is kind of where I was talking already about the 1.5. I should take my profits a little earlier. And then I talk about some of the current coins that I'm looking at. So right now, BTC USD shorts, big resistance covering, the 30K level. Let me dive over here to the BTC USD short. And yeah, for the last, I would say, week or two, this is a daily chart, we've been really making some big progress on this chart. The RSI is very high right now, so we might see a little, I would say, covering going on right here. But we're just right around in the middle of these two major support and resistance levels for shorts. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Are we going to have a little bit of pullback and maybe bounce off the moving average? Or are we just going to continue all the way up? Probably not. That's something that's really rare. Even after a big incline like this, you can see over here, there's typically no straight line. It's usually, up and down. So higher highs, lower lows, or higher highs and then higher lows. So you pretty much always move in a zigzag pattern. And this has been quite the increase of shorts piling up to a position. So I talked about that a little bit in the morning watch list, that we are halfway up on major resistance levels, and yeah, there could be a bit of covering going on. So that could move the price of Bitcoin up potentially just a bit. Cool. So what was the next thing I talked about? I talked a little bit about the big BTC bounce. And by the way, guys, if you ever want access to the weekly trade reviews or weekly watch list, there's 5 weekly watch lists per week on average. I usually do it every business day, and you can get access to all that just by going to crypto.enslow.com/start. And you actually get access to all of everything that I do. So you get access to these trades that I'm documenting, the watch list. You get access to my investor portfolio, which is pretty empty right now, simply because the price keeps going down, and I like to buy things going up. So I'm going to start looking to fill up this investor portfolio soon. What I am doing on some currencies, 3 specifically, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, is every week we buy into a position. So just dollar cost averaging every week and growing the portfolio. We've been doing that for about, I think it's 15 weeks now. So that's turning into a pretty nice portfolio. And then you also get access to the Discord private trading chat group if you join the crypto.enslow.com membership. And you also get access to the statistically backed chart pattern library, which is pretty badass. I talk about all my favorite chart patterns, and it's right here. You can find it right here. So let's go back here. Bitcoin, we want to talk about Bitcoin a little bit. Let's actually go to the 4-hour chart. Okay, so we are on the 4-hour chart, and here you can see that we had a major bounce off the 5K level. I think this was Friday the 25th. No, Friday was the 26th, I believe. So 26, and the 25th is when we had the big down day, big red candle, and then we bounced off of it really nicely. Right now, you know, it's kind of a guessing game. Are we gonna continue to the upside? Are we gonna continue to the downside? You know, this is not really something I want to trade. I'm investing every week, like I said, into Bitcoin, but as a day trade, this is a huge guessing game. And for me, what I would rather do is buy something, you know, after the news. If we have a nice run up, then I'll probably buy, you know, a breakout bounce. Or if we have a big downtrend, I'll look for a more of a waterfall pattern. So I like to trade momentum, and I don't want to, you know, play a guessing game beforehand. Cool. So yeah, so Bitcoin overall, I just, you know, I would love to do a swing position or something longer, but it's a little high for me at the moment. And I even talked about that a little bit in my watch list, that I see more room for potential on the upside based on the general power. So we have a really nice uptrend, right, in general. So I see more room to the upside, especially towards the 6K level. I feel like we might scratch the 6K level, but at the end of the day, it's really just a guessing game here for me. And I'm just gonna kind of sit on the sidelines for this one, as I don't really want to, yeah, I don't see a really good setup. And I think that is something that's really important. If you don't see a good setup, or there's no specific chart pattern that you're really good at, or any, you know, anyone that statistically says that you, you know, based on your chart pattern library, that is a winning setup, then why trade it? You know, it's better to just, you know, sit back, enjoy it, eat some popcorn, and see what happens. And that's what we're doing with this one. So let's dive into the next one. Let's review Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, and I'll even talk about IOTA for a second. So let's just run over, and we're running out of time a little bit, so I don't want to take too long. I'm trying to go as fast as possible. Okay, so first thing first, Ethereum, didn't trade it at all. We finally broke past the $160 level, and we did find some major support near the 145, I think I mentioned. Yeah, so about 146.50, we did find some really nice support. And again, this is something I'm not really trading. There is no clear pattern for me. Just generally choppy. We are under the 180 moving average, and we might see a few retests, but in the end, just a lot of chop for me. And I'm not going to be trading this. There's a big potential that we're going to be moving to the downside, and we're going to potentially see a retest of this trend line right here at the $130 level. So again, definitely not something I want to be swing trading right now. Potential day trades if we see the price holding and some confirmations that there are buyers here, because this could form a nice ascending channel right around here, and it could be a good day trade move to the upside from around here and take some profits right around here. One second. Yeah, so a quick entry here and a quick exit here. That could be a very nice day trade, but again, not really exactly in a pattern that I'm looking for. With XRP, we actually did see some really nice support come in at the 0.29 level, and this would have been an amazing time to have a, especially on this second wick down, open a longer, maybe even a swing trade position. You can see you already be up 7.5% if you held it. So this would have been an excellent swing trade position. And last week, what I should have done is just look at the bigger picture. I should have noticed there was a lot of chop in the market. You can see, like, I'm having a hard time really talking about the market right now because it's just, overall there's no clear setup, especially on the 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, and that's typically what I look for with day trading. But on these longer term views on the 4 hour, you always can just take a step back, look at the bigger trend, notice that there's major support in these general areas. Let me get into some swing trades in these areas because the bounce potential is massive, and that's really what I should have done last week. And I don't know why I didn't, but yeah, so we are bouncing really nicely with XRP. But right now, would I want to enter this position right now? Not really. We already had the bounce, and more or less the opportunity already played out. So getting in right now would just be chasing and really hoping for, a move maybe to the moving average or something like that. And that's not really something I want to be part of. So moving over to Litecoin, I actually have a small day trade out right now. If we break past where are we at right now, 65 level, 65.50, I'll probably be getting out of this trade quickly. Just check in the Discord chat room if you are following me on this trade live, because I am keeping any updates that I have on this trade. So make sure to watch me there, and that's where I'm going to be posting when I get out of this trade. But what I really am looking for is a potential bounce off this $60-$61 level. I think this is going to be huge support because it was major resistance in the past. So I'm going to be looking at this $61 level very closely. I'm going to be following it, and there's a good chance we're going to be touching it this week. So keep an eye on that one. The last thing I want to talk about, I believe, was IOTA, and we had a huge run up with IOTA. Let me dive into the 15-minute. And well, actually, first let's zoom out on the daily, because you always want to start on a larger time frame. And look at this volume that came in. The volume is just absurd right here, this huge green candle. And overall, we found really nice support with IOTA. We came down so heavy from the highs, right? And we're back to these levels of 2018 before the massive, I would say, bull run that we had at the end of 2018. So we had a really nice, I think this was around 40%, 42%, not exactly from top to bottom, but close. Over 40% gains in just a few days. And I think the reason was there was a deal with a UK car company. I think it was one of the bigger car manufacturers in the UK, and they wanted to make some sort of a reward program based on the IOTA chain, or at least pay out clients that shared data from their driving, and they would be paid with IOTA coins. I'm not sure if I got that correctly, but anyway, there was an announcement based on a partnership, and that really heavily moved the price. And actually, I was thinking, or we were talking in the chat room, who was it? Was it Max? Anyway, somebody in the chat room pointed out that, is IOTA a good time to get in right now? And potentially after a move like that, we were talking about it when it was near the highs, and I simply said, wait for a bit of a reversal, right? We had a huge breakout, wait for the breakout bounce. That in theory would have been right here, but you could wait for that double bottom right around here, which is a much better entry than kind of chasing the price and having a little bit of FOMO. Why not wait for the price to come back, 10%? If you bought up here, you beat down 10% on the position. And if you enter the position with your average size that we do, or that I do, 10K, you're down $1,000 on this move right here. So you don't want to do that. There is a really good chance for a bounce here, and you don't really know what's going to happen. Maybe we're going to build a little flag here, and then we're going to in the future break out of that flag. But a bit of a guessing game. What I do really like is that there's just so many buyers with IOTA because we're so far off the highs. So an entry at this point really probably isn't that bad of an idea. I mean, yeah, if you're investing in this, we still might go down another 42% and just touch these lows. So maybe if you're building a long-term position, enter relatively slowly. Enter if you want to build up $10,000, enter 2,000, then 2,000 maybe every week, and try to build up some sort of average. But because you don't know how far we're going to go down. But if you're looking to swing trade or day trade this, I think right now could be a potential good entry. You really have to know for yourself. But right around the, I would say, 0.31 level, under that is a potential good entry for a bounce. But right now, again, this is not really something that, I don't know. The reason I personally wouldn't trade this one right now is because it's crypto pairing, and that means I would have to buy, Litecoin or Bitcoin or something, move it over to Binance, and then with Binance, or inside of Binance with my Litecoin or my Bitcoin or BNB, I would have to buy this one. So there's so many fluctuations going on, and if I quickly wanted to exit the market because crypto was going down, I couldn't really do that, and in general it would be more of a risky play. So I would never trade this really as a day trade. I would be looking at this one more of a swing trade. There's definitely a lot of positive upside, and I really like how we had a bounce here, and a bounce here. I mean, this is a pretty nice potential support line bounce and even triple bottom. So I don't know, I like it. I like the volume. Potential partnership also a lot of times have ripple effects. So you know, not just is it good right now because it has, you know, a big run up, but a lot of people get this news a little bit later. So you have a lot of retail investors that see this news, and then over the next, you know, few days they buy into IOTA. So you have potentially you know, a lot of upside potential in the next you know, week or even 2-3 weeks. So you know, something cool to keep in mind. But overall, we are still in a longer term bearish market, I would say, on the, you know, weekly, but but yeah, it could be a really nice entry. Actually, let me look at the weekly. Yeah, so on the weekly, there's really no, I would say, indicator that we are you know, making higher highs or something like that, that shows that we are in a bull market. We are definitely still in a very, very bearish market on the weekly. On the daily, we are in a bullish rally. And on the 4 hour also, I believe we're on a bullish. And then in the 1 hour, we are again in a bearish. So, you know, depending on what your time frame are you swing trading? Are you investing? Are you day trading? What we like to do, at least what I like to do, and what I talk about a lot, is simply just day trading and swing trading. And that is how I'm, you know, able to consistently grow my portfolio, because I'm just looking for these relatively good value opportunities with patterns that I love to trade over and over again. And then I just take my profits when they're there and I cut my losses quickly. So yeah, that's kind of what I look for. And if you want to learn way more about everything that I do, just go over here, how to become a consistently profitable trader, and you can get my full entire course on everything that I do, everything that I look for in the market. I have over 50 plus videos, and you can use these videos to improve your foundation. And I'm always, or your trading foundation, I'm always adding more videos. And a lot of the things that I talk about in these videos, you can also apply to the equities market, so normal stocks, because that's actually where I learned everything from. And yeah, so if you are interested in really improving your foundation, definitely check out the profitablecryptotrader.com. The course is $395, I believe. Yeah, $395. So I try to make it relatively affordable for everyone. Yep, right here, $395. And we had over 100 students already sign up on launch day. So that was a big launch. And you also get access to the Discord private trading chat room. The Discord private trading chat room if you join the profitablecryptotrader.com course, or if you just want to see what I'm doing day to day with my watch list and my trade reviews, then maybe this is a better option for you. Just go over to enslow.com/start trading or crypto.enslow.com/start, and you can get access for everything that I post for only $27 a month. So that might be an option as well. Anyway, guys, I think that wraps up the live stream. Let me quickly see if I had any questions. I haven't been checking too much. But oh God, again, we are over 40 minutes. I'm so sorry. I try to talk really quickly, but you know, at the end there was just so much to review. I couldn't help myself. So, you know, I hope you don't mind about that either. Anyway, guys, I think that wraps it up for this week. There is, you know, I hope we're going to have some really nice swing trades coming up soon. Keep an eye out on that Litecoin $61 level. That could be really promising. Looks like David just joined, David Shipley. He is very active in the Discord private trading chat room. So hi, David. I'm happy you made it, even though it's a little late, but all good. And I will see you in the Discord private trading chat room again. And yeah, so I will wrap it up here. Thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you in an upcoming video this week or on Monday. Ciao, ciao.